So hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Gary, and today, as I did for the male World Cup, today I'm going to be doing my full World Cup prediction for the women's tournament this summer. I found an online predictor, the same one that was used for the male. I believe it's the Telegraph. So without further delay, let's take a look. So here we go then. Here's the women's World Cup predictor. Anyone who hasn't done this before, and I'll leave a link to this in the description below because it's a really good predictor and I encourage all of you to give it a go. We've got the 8 groups here and then we work our way through. Let's go straight for Group A. So we've got New Zealand, Norway, Philippines and Switzerland. So there's some good teams in here. I do think there's some good teams. New Zealand, of course, are the hosts. Does that put them through? I don't think so. I think New Zealand are going to struggle, personally, in this group. I think there's 2 teams to go through in this group, and I'm going to say it's between Norway and Switzerland, really, for the top spot, isn't it? I'm going to go with Norway to top the group. Switzerland to come second. New Zealand a close third, though. I do feel like they could potentially cause an upset in this group, but I think overall, I do think those are the 2 teams that will go through, and New Zealand, unfortunately, will go out in the group stage. However, coming on to Group B, now this is a tougher group than what initially looks because Ireland are actually playing quite well. They lost 1-0 the other night to the US, which obviously isn't a big scoreline by any means, and they gave a good account of themselves, and they're playing good football, so Ireland certainly aren't going to be the pushovers. So we've got Australia, Ireland, Nigeria and Canada. I think Nigeria are going to be the bottom team in this group, so it's between these 3 really that are going to go through. I don't know, it's hard to say who's going to top this. I'm going to go with Australia. I think home advantage, let's say home advantage gives them the edge in this group, so they're going to top the group. Canada and Ireland, I'm going to go with Canada. I just think again it's probably Ireland are up and coming. They're going to get there, but it may be a tournament too soon for them. Ireland in 3rd and Nigeria in 4th place. So that brings us on to Group C. Now, I think this is a pretty straightforward group in terms of the 2 teams that are going to qualify. It may be just open for discussion what order that is in. I'm just going to go with Spain. And I know Spain, hear me out, there's 2 teams in this World Cup that are going to cause me a bit of issues actually in this predictor because off the field, there's a lot of issues going on. But I'm almost going to try and park those. Let's say that all these teams, by the time the World Cup comes around, have resolved their off-field issues. So with that in mind, I'm going to put Spain top, Japan second, and then we've got Costa Rica and Zambia. I'm going to go with Costa Rica in 3rd, Zambia in 4th. Both teams are really going to struggle to have any chance, really, of coming out of this group. So you could swap those around, but for me, Costa Rica 3rd, Zambia 4th. England's group then, so England, Haiti, Denmark and China. I think England are, despite obviously losing their 30-game unbeaten run the other night against Australia and playing pretty poorly, if I'm being honest, I still think England aren't going to be, troubled in this group too much, and I'm putting them through as group winners. I really am. Hopefully with 3 victories, and I do envisage that at the moment. Then it's between Denmark and China for that 2nd place, and it's a tough one to call. It is one of the closer things to decide here. I'm going to go with China. I just don't know why. I'm just going to go with China. I think it's going to be very tight though. Denmark are just going to miss out, and Haiti, unfortunately, I think are going to lose every game in this tournament. I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, apart from against England, but Haiti for me bottom. So Group E is the United States, Vietnam, Netherlands and Portugal. And I do think this again is a pretty straightforward group in terms of who's going to go through. USA is going to top it. For me, the Netherlands are going to be 2nd, Portugal 3rd and Vietnam 4th. Right, Group F. Now, I mentioned earlier regarding Spain that there's 2 teams in this tournament that are giving me issues in regards to their off-field antics, and France are the other team. As we know, France and their players are going through disputes. In the same regard, Spain are, so it's difficult to predict the French team that is going to turn up. Are they going to be fully focused on the World Cup? You'd think so, wouldn't you? Having said that, this group is, again, pretty straightforward. So we've got France, Jamaica, Brazil and Panama. Who tops this group, though, between France and Brazil? Now, although I said I'm going to try and ignore the off-field antics, I think Brazil are playing good football at the moment, and they beat Germany the other night. So I'm going to go with Brazil to top it, France in 2nd, Jamaica, though, previously discounted Jamaica. I know they've got a good striker. They're going to finish above Panama, but I really don't see them troubling Brazil or France in this group. So for me, Jamaica 3rd and Panama 4th. Group G is Sweden, South Africa, Italy and Argentina. Now, again, an interesting group this is. on paper, you've probably got two teams that stand out, and that's Sweden and Italy. South Africa, I'll be honest with you, I don't know very much about South Africa at all, or Argentina for that matter. But I'm gonna go with Sweden or Italy. I don't fancy Sweden to top the group, but no, I am. I'm going to go Sweden to top the group, Italy to finish second, Argentina in third, and South Africa in fourth. And the final group is Group H. Germany, Morocco, Colombia and South Korea. Again, I think this is a straightforward group, I think. But again, it's who tops it. It's between Germany and Korea. Clear team to top this group, and that's Germany. I then think Korea is going to finish second, Colombia third, and Morocco fourth. So that's the group stages, and I think I'll be surprised if there's any differences there. You could maybe argue Denmark may qualify in place of China, but I don't know. I think that's pretty much how it's going to end up. But then, and I've been critical about the group stage because I think some of those games are going to be quite comprehensive. But then when we come to the knockout rounds now, so let's have a look. I understand from a lot of people that certain sides of the group are going to have an easier draw. So let's take a look. So the first round of 16, based on my predictions, would be Norway and Japan. Both previous winners, as you can see from the start. Who wins out of this one? Now, interesting. Straight away, look, the competition becomes so much more competitive. And it's hard to pick a winner here. It really is hard to pick a winner. I'm struggling here. I'm going to go with Japan. And I do think you could flip a coin and it could be either squad goes through here. But I just fancy the Japanese. I think in recent history, they're a little bit stronger. I would equally argue and understand people's argument for Norway. But I'm just going to go with Japan. I think there's not a lot to say because I think it's going to be such a tight game. But Japan, for me, go through on that one. The next game is Spain and Switzerland. Now, again, the Spanish, just like the French, it's difficult to understand, are their off-field problems going to be an issue? But I do believe, and I've said this before, I think Spain are an incredibly strong team and one of the best teams in the world. I really do think that. So for me, Spain will win this game, all being well. So the Spanish go through for me. The United States and Italy. So 4-time winners, the United States against Italy. Tough game, but I do think America, their experience at this level, their quality they've got, I think they'll have too much for Italy, so they go through. Sweden and the Netherlands, this is another tough one. I do think this is quite going to be a very tense, tight match. I'm going to go with Sweden to go through. I'm going to stick with Sweden. But again, I would happily hear anyone's argument for the Netherlands, but for me, Sweden go through on this occasion. Australia and China. Interesting. China may be a little bit of a dark horse. Australia, obviously, the hosts. I'm backing the hosts. I just feel like they might go on a bit of a run, Australia. I think if they've got this far, having, come through the group as group leaders above Canada, I think why not? The confidence will be with the Australians. They'll have their home advantage, so Australia go through for me. England, Canada, very tough game. Very tough game for England, but I'm going to go for England. And I've said it before, I do think we're the strongest team at the moment in the world. Doesn't mean that's who I'm going to pick as my winner. Let's see how the draw goes. But Canada is a very tough opening knockout game for England. So, very tough. But you expect them to be at this level. But for me, England go through. Brazil and South Korea. Now, again, I think this is a tough one to call. Brazil, though, I think they look good. They look strong. They've shown some good performances recently. And yeah, I think they're on the up, Brazil, whereas South Korea, I'm not so sure about. So Brazil go through there. Germany and France. Oh, God. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one. I'm going to go with the Germans. You don't bet against the Germans, the 2-time winners in knockout football. France, I know I'm trying to do this as if there's no off-field issues, but there is going to be for Spain and France. I still think even with the off-field issues, Spain would still have enough for Switzerland, but France, would they have enough for Germany? I think it's too big of an ask for the French on this occasion, so for me, Germany would go through there. This leaves us with the quarter-finals. So who do we have? We have Japan and the United States. That's been a final twice in the women's game, so that's a cracking match. Spain versus Sweden, Australia, Brazil, England, Germany. Wow, what a quarter-final this is. So let's start on the far left, Japan, United States. I don't fancy United States to win this tournament. Do I think they're going to get to a final, though? This is a key. This is a game where the US obviously could go out, and same obviously for Japan. No, God, this is hard. I'm going to go with the US. The US to go through there. Spain, Sweden. Oh, another another tough one. I'm going to go with Spain. I just really rate Spain. I really did. And I hope they get the off-field issues sorted, because these are a real threat to the tournament. They honestly are. So I'm just going to go with Spain. That's my opinion. Australia, Brazil. So the hosts. Is this where Australia come unstuck? I don't think so. I think Australia carry on here. I just think that home advantage again. And again, they're on a bit of a run by the time they get to this quarter-final. I'm going with Australia. England, Germany. Now, this is a flip of a coin. It really is the flip of a coin. I'm English. England just off the back of a 30-game unbeaten run. I'm going for it. England to make it through to the semi-final. But again, I would obviously understand anyone's opinion if Germany went through there. But for me, come on, the Lionesses, you're going through. And this leaves us with the semi-final of the United States versus Spain, Australia, England. Two really good semi-finals, really, really strong. And I think I'm sticking with Spain as dark horses. I think this is where the US come unstuck. And I do believe the Spanish just get it sorted. The Spain will have too much. If they can figure it, they've got 90% there. They keep the ball. They're fantastic with the ball at the feet. They can figure out how to put it in the back of the net more often. I've sod it. I'm going for Spain. I just don't think the US will reach this final. And I know people have said they've got the easier draw than the opposite side. And I can sort of see that. But they're still coming up against some tricky opposition. I just fancy the Spanish. I think every time I've seen them, I really like the way they play. I think it's completely different to the women's game in terms of what other people play. And I'm just going to put Spain in. I'm just going to put Spain in the final. Australia, England. I'm sticking with the Lionesses. They've got this far. If they've got this far, England will be on a roll, and it'll be the same sort of feeling it would be after the Euros. If we just beat Germany, I've got to back England to beat Australia in that semi-final, regardless of the home advantage. And I think it would then be rightly so. The informed team of the past 12 to 18 months is in the final, which is England against the Spanish. And who wins that? I'm afraid I'm going for England. When you say afraid, I'm looking at here. 25% of other people agree with me. 30% say the United States. And 9% Australia. So a lot of people are backing Australia as well, given the fact that they've got home advantage. But for me, England win this World Cup. It's a bit difficult now. We've just lost against Australia, but the World Cup's completely different. So let me know your thoughts below. I've got a feeling we won't see an England-US final. I think England or the US, one of them will slip up at some point. I think they're most people's favourites to get to the final. For me, though, I just think one of them won't get there. I hope that's not England. I'm just saying because the US are on the back of two previous World Cups, I just think they're going to lose a game. I just think they're going to lose a knockout game at some point. And Spain's as good a team as any. So I put England, Spain in the final. For me, England win that match. So that's my thoughts on the World Cup. Do you agree? Do England lift the trophy? Do America win it for the third time, as a lot of people seem to believe? Or is it Australia or somebody else? Do Spain win it? I don't know. Is there another team there that you're backing? Did Brazil or Germany get through to the final and pick it up? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, and I will see you all on my next video.